I'm Michael Chen, and today I'm going to introduce a solution of the DMR radio connector with the telephone system. And in this system, we are going to introduce the usage method of the collection, like use a radio to make a phone call to the telephone, and also introduce a usage similar like a telephone to make a group call to the radio groups, and also make individual call to each specified radios. In this solution, and we are going to use all these devices, like this device is PD685 of our DMR products line. And we also need a programming cable to connect the radio and the computer to configure the parameters for this radio. And we also need a repeater to connect the DMR radio with the PBX system. And this is the repeater. Its model is RD625. And this is the antenna and the programming cable. This is the port for the programming cable is DB26, and this is the RJ45 to connect the IP switch. We use this cable to connect the IP switch and the repeater. And this is the router for wireless phone with this system. If you don't want to use a wireless phone to connect to this system, you don't need this device. And this is the IP PBX. Its model is Grand Stream UCM6102. And we use the analog phone cable to connect the PBX with the analog telephone. In the IP PBX side, we use this port FXS1. So we use this port to connect the analog phone, and we can also use FXO. This port is used to connect with a carrier's network. And we use this line LAN port to connect this IP PBX with this switch. So this is the network topology. We also use another IP cable to connect the switch with the computer. Okay, so after the connection of the hardware devices, let us go to check the configuration of the software part. So first, let us check the network topology. In the network topology, we have a switch in the core side and have a IP PBX. This is a Grand Stream UC6102. And we have an analog phone with the FXS port in the PBX side. We can also use the FXO port to connect the PSTN network. And we can also use a soft phone to connect to this IP PBX. And if you have a IP phone in your network, you can use the IP network to connect the IP phone with the IP PBX. And this is the repeater and portable radios. And if you want to use a phone, mobile phone, you can use a Wi-Fi to connect the phone with the IP PBX. So this is the network topology. And let us go to check the configuration of the PBX first. So we use the Internet Explorer to check the configuration of the IP PBX. Its address is http .192.168.1.2. So this is the address. We continue to check the website. The username, default username is admin, and password, default password is also admin. And when we log into the configuration panel of the PBX, we switch to the PBX panel, PBX tab. And we're going to configure some telephone numbers for the analog phone, for the IP phone, for the software phone and for group call, and also for smart dispatch and private number for each individual radio. And this is the number for the analog phone, for this one, for this analog phone. And how to configure the telephone number, and we click this button to open this page. And in this page we're going to configure the extension number, core ID name, and the core ID number, and the default C password. So this is configuration for the number, and this is for the configuration of the analog phone. In this panel we are going to disable this and check this C parameter and choose the analog station to FXS1. So this means we're going to configure the number 10,000 for the port FXS1, and we click the save button. And another number like this one, for the SIP client, for the smart dispatch and individual call or group call number, we are going to use the SIP number. So in this number, the only difference is this one. We're going to check the SIP parameter, and the analog station you choose one, just one difference, and the other is the same. You configure extension number, core ID number, core ID name, and the save password. So then click the save button. After all the configuration, you can click the button of apply changes. So all the configurations will be loaded after the apply changes. And this is the configuration for the PBX side. And then we are going to change the configuration of the repeater. On the repeater side, the first step, we are going to configure the channel here. This is the channel frequency, RX frequency and the TX frequency. RX frequency 430 and TX frequency is 440. This is the channel frequency of the repeater. And then we're going to configure the network parameters of this repeater. In this network, we're going to use a static IP address for the repeater. Like this one, we configure the IP address like this: 192.168.1.5. This is the address for the repeater, and this is the gateway IP address and net mask IP address. So then we are going to configure the connection like this one is forward to PC. We click the forward to PC and configure the IP address, third-party IP address of the smart dispatch. So this is the address of the smart dispatch in my computer. And then we check the subnet of the DMR radio network is subnet is 10. So this is the configuration for the network. And then next step, we're going to configure the ID of the repeater. In the DMR service basic section, we're going to configure the radio ID here like 10,000. This is the ID of the repeater. And then we configure L interface or authentication key for the repeater connect with the radio. This is the authentication key is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. This is the authentication key. And then configure phone system. In the phone system, in the directory of phone and phone system directory, You can configure phone system like this. This is the IP address of the IP-PBX of this one, Grand Streams IP-PBX. And then we are going to click enable the telephone interconnection enable. You need to check this parameter. And PBX access code. This is the common password for each individual call and the group call's password. And you need to configure the same password on the PBX side, like this one. We're going to use this number. This is the number for a group call. So we can check the password for this one. So here, the password is the same with the configuration on the repeater side. So each one, all numbers like 21500, 22500, and to the next number 1260021. All the numbers in the DMR radio network must use the same password. This password, Hytera 001. This is the password. You can also use another password. And here in this parameter, we can configure a phone gateway ID. This phone gateway ID must be different with the repeater's ID and each radio's ID. You can use a specified ID. And we also need to configure a connect code like A *# and this connect code B *#. You can also use other connect code or disconnect code like P123 or P456. And you must confirm that the connect code and disconnect code must be the same with the repeater side and the radio side. So this is the configuration of the repeater. And then we're going to check the configuration for each radio. On the radio side, first we check the DMR service basic part. We configure the radio's ID. In this part, we configure radio ID 6001. So the ID is 6001. So its telephone number is 116001. And we also need to configure the RX and the TX parameters for this radio. Its RX parameter is 440 and the TX parameter is 430. So this is different with the repeater's parameter. And we need to configure the RS revert channel. You choose inactive. And the phone system, we choose phone system 1 in the channel part, channel D1 part. And in the phone system part, we need to configure some parameters like this one. In the digital DTMF TX gain part, we configure the parameters to 7. And in this parameter, you can configure the parameters from 5 to 8. So right now, we can choose 7 in the middle side. And we also configure phone gateway ID. This phone gateway ID is the same gateway ID on the repeater side. And we configure a buffer die contact name. We choose the gateway ID to replace the other parameter. And we also need to configure the connect code and the disconnect code. This connect code, we configure the same connect code with the repeater side, and we choose button P1. And for the disconnect code, we configure B sharp, B star sharp, and for button P2. So this configuration for the radio. And on this side, we choose all configuration. Choose the phone system we just configured. And for the RS reverse channel, we also need to configure the RS channel in the network part. So for the RS service, we configure the default parameters. Don't change the values. On the radio service part, we need to configure RS and the GPS radio ID 10,000. This ID is the ID of the repeater. So after all the configuration, we can use the radio to make a phone call to the telephone. So right now we're going to use a portable radio to make a phone call to the telephone. On the radio side, first step we need to use the menu to go into the phone part, and we're going to switch the DTM keypad to enable status, and then go back to the desktop, and then we press the button, digital button like 1 0 0 0 0. So press the PTT button to make a phone call. So right now you can answer the phone.
As you can see here, the number is 116001. 116001. Then I will answer the phone. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello, hello.
This is 10,000.
Hello. This is 116001. Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay.
Very good.
You can press the red button and click the PTT to hang up.
Yes.
Okay. To dial the group phone call number, the number is 21500. And so now I can make a group phone call to the two radios. And everyone, each one, if you want to talk to me, just press your PTT button to talk.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Very good.
You can also, you release the PTT button, you can press the PTT button.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. You can, right now, I can hang up the phone call. Okay. Use the Smart Dispatch server configuration tool. We double click this icon and we switch to the SIP setting part. We configure the ID, telephone number for the Smart Dispatch. We just use this ID, 20,000 in the Smart Dispatch side. We configure the same password, Hytera 001. And this is the IP address of the IP-PBX, and its default port is 5060. And we click the auto register and click OK. And then we restart the Smart Dispatch server. We start Smart Dispatch client in this way, and we use the default account admin, and its default password is admin. We choose the setting, the IP address of this 192.168.1.100. This is the IP address of the Smart Dispatch server, and its default port is 61400. And we click the login button. And we switch to the SIP core and use the right button to click this icon, SIP core, and add to my dispatch panel. So I used the Smart Dispatch client to make a phone call and switch this phone call to a Oppo radio like this, where I click the button 10000 and press the green button to call the analog phone.
And here I have incoming calls. I can see here the number is 2000. I'll answer the call. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And right now I'm going to switch this phone call to a Oppo radio like this. And I choose private call. And the private call number, the ID is 5001. And I click this button.
Hello, JC, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'll push this call number so he can talk. Hello, JC, can you talk?
Hello, hello. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, JC. Very
Okay,
good.
very good.
Thank you.